This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And today is March the 8th. This birthday boy is one of the best kickers of all time, Jason Elam. He's 51 today. He was born March 8th, 1970. He played 15 years with the Denver Broncos and 2 with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm like, fuck. I thought he played all his career with the Broncos. 3 times he went to the Pro Bowl. He won 2 Super Bowl rings with the Broncos in the late 90s and was tied with Tom Dempsey, Sebastian Janikowski, and David Akers for the longest field goal in NFL history with 63 yards before Matt Prater broke it in Denver with a 64-yard field goal. Elam actually was a decent kicker. He went to the University of Hawaii, which is not really where you want to have like NFL superstars from. I mean, 2 of the best offensive stars in Hawaii history, Timmy Chang and Chad Owens, basically flopped against the NFL. They got into the CFL. Elam had the 3rd most points in NCAA history in his 4 years at the University of Hawaii, and tied for the 2nd most field goals kicked at 79. He had the record for all-time leading scorer in the Western Athletic Conference, or the WAC, until 2010. Basically, he majored in communications at the University of Hawaii. So, the Broncos decided to draft him in the 3rd round. And everyone's like, you draft a kicker in the 3rd round? A special teams guy in the 3rd round? That's impossible. Like, why would you do such a thing like that? Like, a kicker and a punter, really? He was actually the 2nd special teams guy drafted. Atlanta drafted Harold Alexander as a punter from App State. Here's who could have had it. Well, there were a lot of teams that could have had Jason Elam. In the 3rd round, Washington drafted a wash-up linebacker. The Raiders had a cornerback. In the 3rd round, looking at a lot of 3rd round picks, the Raiders picked Billy Joe Hobart from Washington. Man, he was pathetic. I mean, the Colts lucked out on Ray Buchanan from Louisville in the 3rd round of the 93 draft. And Will Shields for Kansas City was a 3rd round pick from Nebraska to the Chiefs. And then Tampa got John Lynch, strong safety. So, yeah. All right. Whatever. So, yeah, he was drafted in the 3rd round. And he does hold the record for best extra point conversion percentage, 99.5%. Most consecutive seasons with 100 points, 15, fastest to 300 field goals, and fastest to 1,600 and 1,700 points. Elam actually was the first player in NFL history to score 200-plus points against 3 teams: San Diego, Oakland, and Kansas City, obviously because they're in the AFC West. Elam is actually tied with Steve Christie, Jason Hansen, and Jim Breach for most field goals in overtime, 9. Wow. And Elam was named to Denver's 50th anniversary team in 2009. Elam did pretty good for himself. I know that. He went to the Pro Bowl in 95. He tied for 3rd in scoring, 432 points. He was pretty good and all that. In Super Bowl 32 against the Packers, or 1998, if you will, his 51-yard field goal was the 2nd longest in Super Bowl history, behind Steve Christie's 54-yarder in 1994. And of course, it was the longest Broncos postseason history. Elam was basically named to a 2nd Pro Bowl in 1998 and all that. And kicked a 63-yard field goal on October 25th, 1998 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, tying the record for longest field goals in history. His cleats are actually on display in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Pretty good, don't you think? So yeah, he did pretty well for himself and all that. So yeah, a couple of Super Bowl rings. It was shocking that Elam left Denver and then went and kicked for another team, and that was the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta signed him to a 4-year, $9 million contract. He would have a very good game in his first his first game as a Falcon against the Detroit Lions. He did fantastic. Unfortunately, though, 2009 was different. He went 8 for 15 in field goals past 30 yards, which is not Elam-esque. So basically, he decided to retire after he got waived. Elam holds 8 franchise records, including extra points in a career, a game, playoffs, playoff season, and playoff game, and field goals, career, season, and playoffs. Elam's wife is a former Broncos cheerleader, and he has 6 kids with her. 4 sons: Jason Jr., Josh, and Jude. No, no, no. Jason Jr., Joshua, Jackson, and Jude, and 2 daughters, Jordan and Juliana. So yeah, it was amazing and all that. Like Jason Elam was a very good kicker, and from the University of Hawaii, not really a football school, but anyway, hey, a kicker is just as important as any other position on the field. I'm Jeff Diamond. I'll do.